Hey man, what's up? It is the Ace Michael Show. And if you're here, it's because you meant to be. So we're happy to have you. We appreciate you for everything that you do. Thank you for sharing and liking and supporting the show. Your likes, your follows, your friend requests, all that stuff is taken very seriously. We like that. If you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is just ask us and we'll put you on the show. That way you can speak your mind, voice your opinions, suggestions, convictions, beliefs, ideas, commitments, obligations. Anyway, that's what's up today on the show. I have a guest that I have followed for a while. She's been a very, very impressive force in the industry. Welcome to the show for the first time on my show, Nashimah Curry. How are you doing, darling?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm just getting through the day, trying to make the way like always. Staying blessed, can't complain too much. Woke up this morning, so that's always a good thing.
That's a good start. If you can wake up in the morning, that pretty much sets the rest of the day can pretty much be successful if you
Exactly.
can wake up in the morning. Tell everybody a little bit about what you're all into.
So I am 24. Currently, I'm from Philadelphia originally. I moved to Vegas about, I want to say like 6, 7 years ago. I am an aspiring model, both print, fashion, lingerie, swimwear, and runway. I've been modeling for about maybe 3 years now. I want to say it's actually been pretty good. It has its ups and downs, but I fairly enjoy it. I get to meet a lot of new designers, a lot of new people, and the bond that I got with my modeling sisters and brothers is like really phenomenal. I am a part of like three different modeling groups: Melanin Models, Steamy Models, and Glistening Models, which is the swimwear group that I'm a part of.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty much a good way to not only network but to bond and meet similar people within the same field as you. We always try to help each other, scratch each other's back.
Now, you know what's interesting is that I've lived in Las Vegas for 6 years,
Hmm.
and I have run across your profiles and your photos pretty much this whole 6 years that I've been here. But what's interesting is that you say that you are an aspiring model. I think you're more than that. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I think you definitely are beyond aspiring at this point.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. For me, I just say I'm inspiring because I still have a lot more to learn.
Hmm.
I'm not where I want to be yet. So I can't be like, oh, I'm top model, I'm this, that, and the third, or put dubs on it because me personally, I feel like I'm not there yet to be like, all right, well, I'm like one of the top best models in Vegas and anything else like that. I can't give myself that much credit because I'm still pasting myself. I don't know what's going to happen today, what's going to happen tomorrow with my career, because you never know. It could be you good 1 minute and the next thing you know is boom, you splat on your face.
Sure, sure. Now that brings up I don't know if it's my first question, but one of my questions I wanted to ask you is there's a lot of people jumping in the industry, and I've always been in the music industry first and
Mm.
foremost myself. So I know that phenomena when singers are trying to be famous versus when singers are trying to learn how to sing and learn their craft. So I want to ask you, how much do you think percentage wise is promotion and how much is preparation?
Ugh. I wouldn't say it's like 50-50, to be honest. You got to promote yourself a lot and you have to make sure you're practicing a lot. People who ask me all the time, like, do you practice as well? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I never knew how to walk in heels a day in my life. I am not a girly girl. I am a tomboy, and I grew up in Philly. So yeah, I used to ride dirt bikes all the time and do like boy stuff. So for me, I never really knew how to walk in heels. But as soon as I learned, my walk was just off the bat. I didn't really have any training when I first got into it, but I did critique myself a lot more because I noticed that my feet, I got big feet. I know most of the models do because our height, most of us are pretty tall. So I had a little issues with like stepping on my own feet as I walked. And that was like one big thing that I noticed I needed to critique
I
myself.
still have that issue today, and I'm not a model.
Yeah, so I always tell people like no matter how far you think you are in your craft, girl, you still need to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Tyra Banks still work on her craft day to day, whether it's her makeup, her photography. Like she even went away for a couple and then came back to show people, look, I'm better. She put more weight on. She's flaunting it like in a different light. Sometimes you have to find yourself, find who you want to be as a model or an artist or whatever industry you're going into, whatever field you decide to go in. You need to find your personal creativity because once you got that, you can add that to anything that you do. For me personally, once I found that when I do my poses versus how my runway walk is, my poses will never be like just regular simple poses. I can't do just straight poses. I have to always have a turn or some type of exotic look or
Hmm.
a different uniqueness to it because that's me. That's I know when people see that picture or if I'm lined up with a whole bunch of other girls, oh, she can do this. Oh, she could do that. Because I showed that different versatility and I put my own spin on everything that I do.
Hmm.
You put me in a fashion show. If you have me once I know what item I'm wearing, the garment that I'm wearing, when I walk and I practice, I'm practicing like I'm wearing that garment. And that's how I feel like everybody needs to do. Like if you got a garment, oh, I'm wearing this dress and this dress got flow. You better walk like you when you practice, you better walk like you holding that dress so you got it on in that moment so you can get that feel like, oh, if I turn this way, I could do this with this, or I could do this pose with this. So for me, I just feel like you need to always practice your craft no matter what. And you always need to self promote yourself because nobody's going to promote you like you want. People might post your picture here and be like, oh, yeah, and make their little comment, but that might not be the comment that you wanted to put underneath that picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You also need to make sure you communicate that with photographers, with anybody. I also feel like there's a lot of models that don't ever give credit to the people that they work with. Photographers sometimes do it too, but I notice when I go down my timeline, there's a lot of models that actually don't. That won't tag the photographer, that won't tag the videographer or the person who did their makeup and stuff like that. And I'm like, how do you expect yourself to get more promotion if you're not tagging these people? Because that means that they won't tag you when they post your photo. So you won't be tagged at all. And once they post their photo on your page, they might have more followers and more views than you do. So you're not getting that same promotion feedback because they're not adding you on Instagram or Facebook or wherever they posting your photo at. You're not getting that publicity because you're not giving it to them either. So it's like you gotta give to get as well.
It's interesting because when you started off the interview, you were saying that you were in your 20s. And it seems like an artist in their 20s had better know how to use social media.
Yes, better know.
Talent's not going to be enough.
Like you, for me, social media is a must at this point, especially now with this pandemic going on. A lot of modeling agencies and everything are actually using social media more, especially to find models, different photographers, different videographers. They using social media to find those people that they're looking for. And for me, I'm like, even with TikTok, once TikTok came out, I feel like that was like a even more stepping stone for dancers, more though than just like regular models and artists. But
Mm-hmm.
it also was a stepping stone for dancers and people who build sets. I actually seen a girl who I know, I forgot her name, but been brought to my attention so many times through a mutual friend. But she literally builds sets and she's a model and she builds her own sets, will mimic it to a T, and then she'll post pictures and she doesn't get no credit at all.
Hmm.
And you would think that she should be somewhere in Vogue magazine. She literally did a mock-up of a Vogue magazine cover and redid it.
Wow.
And it
Wow.
came so beautiful. And I'm just like, people like that, sometimes that social media platform gives them that extra curve up to where they need to be. Because that's where a lot of people looking at. And like even for me, like I noticed that when I post it to my stories, I get more feedback when I post on my Instagram stories versus than me just posting it onto my actual page on my timeline. And I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that I see more and I can see, all right, you're watching my page, but you're not liking my photos. And it also lets me know who's following me, who's not.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to bring up the question of race. It's because it's always about race. At the end of the day, everything's race. Is there a lot of racism in the modeling industry? Like when people say, well, she's pretty for a black model, or she's pretty for an Asian model, but she's not like this honey coated white girl over here.
I
Malibu Barbie.
have yet to really experience that firsthand because I've been doing a lot of urban runway shows, so I've been
No,
working with a lot of.
what is an urban runway show? Is that a runway show where they're like shooting at you while you're doing a run? Pow, 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 pow. Like, what is an urban runway
So
show? Urban.
there's a big difference. Urban is more when you can use like rap music, you can put more of like a sashiness to it, versus where high fashion, you're more straight, walk forward. Don't do this, don't do no turns, don't do nothing extra, just walk straight
Okay.
down, come back.
Okay.
Versus where urban is like, oh, you got the dress on, do a little turn in the middle, stop, pose, do this, and then go back, then stop, pose, do this, and then you come back and do whatever you want. Or you
You're
can,
such a model. I love it. Stop. Pose. Turn
yeah,
around. Stop.
like, because they want to be able to draw them in. With high fashion and fashion shows, sometimes they already got a big crowd. So with urban, we gotta give more of an effort, more of a reason to make people want to come and watch us walk and watch the other designers and their clothes be presented in the way that they want it to be presented.
Interesting. Interesting.
And don't get me wrong, high fashion shows not all the time are great because they got they mix up behind the scenes just like urban fashion shows do too.
Right.
But overall, I never really had an issue with the color of my skin. Sometimes I'll probably get like, oh, maybe you're just a little too short. You're not meeting like the height requirement.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that I would feel like is mostly the main thing that comes into this.
How tall are you?
I'm about 5'8".
Oh, and that's too short?
Yeah. You
Oh,
got maybe it's like 5'9" for most high fashion, like New York runway and stuff like that. They want you to be 5'9" and up. And then like when women is there's not many women because the average height for a woman is literally 5'4". So if you find a woman that's like 6'5'9", 5'9", they think you really looking somewhere
right.
like
You got a job.
over. Yeah, you looking somewhere.
You got a job. That's funny. Who would you say are your modeling heroes?
Honestly, my biggest, I always love Tyra Banks. I've been a big Tyra Banks fan. I watched American Star Model since the first season to when they started putting the boys on there. That was the spin. When they started doing the gay boys and adding the boys into it, I feel like that was the best part that she ever did.
Huh.
Because that's when they also showcased guests as a brand. Like that was their one of their big like input stamps on a TV show for
Hmm.
guests.
Hmm.
My second, even though she is like the first black female supermodel ever, is Miss Donna Luna. Not too many people even know about Miss Donna Luna. She was before Beverly Johnson, before Naomi Campbell. She was the start of any black woman being on any cover. She was the first woman on the cover of Bazaar magazine, the first woman on the cover of Vogue French magazine, not America, over and where it really matters at. You want your photo to be in Paris, not in the US, because Paris, they make more money. They got more necessity, care more about us as models. We
Yes.
celebrities over there, no matter where we are.
Nice.
And again, I love Miss Beverly Johnson, but it would definitely have to go to Gigi. The Heidi sisters in general. I just love them because they have that certain rawness to them. Even though they've been in the industry for so long because of their mom and like the whole family's just in it, they
Hmm.
have that certain um, structure to them that like kind of matches mine. Like not just size wise, but they have strong facial features, and I know I do too. So sometimes I take like so I'll look at their pictures and I'll look at Miss Donna Luna's, and I'm like I try to idolize women that have similar features as mine. So that way, when I look at the pictures, I'm like, all right, I could probably do this, or this probably would look good because I know how to work the angle. Because once you find, because it's hard to find your own best lighting, and it's hard sometimes to find a good angle for your own person. So when you can see somebody who has similar features or similar structures and stuff like that, it's easier for you to like take that and be like, oh, I could take this, mimic it, and make it better.
Hmm.
Because that's what you want to do. You want to make it better. You don't want to be like them. You want to take something that they already did, recreate it, and try to put your own spin to it. You don't want to just continue to mimic. You want to create that mesh, and which is also paying homage to them as leaders and idols before you.
I think it's very impressive that you know so much about other models. You know, when I used to talk to young music artists, I used to say, you got to realize that Quincy Jones, Puff Daddy, Dr. Dre, they know all the upcoming producers. They know all the records that all the singers are on because they have to. Nicole Kidman, J Lo, any of these actresses that are considered A-list actors, they already know who's writing the movie that's going to be the Academy Award winner this year because they have to. That's their business. You got to do your homework. If you want to stay on top, you got to know who to work with and who not to work with.
In
You know,
fact,
and I think that's very impressive that you do know your chops for sure. I mean, that stuff that you said is it's mind-boggling to me. That's really, really impressive. So, what's the future for Nashima? Where are you going in the end game?
honestly, I'm trying to be a mogul. That's
Okay.
my end game, be a mogul. I want my foot in everything. Because I used to be in photography when I was in high school. I still draw currently. I'm actually getting back into being more intuitive with my creativity side. Um, I'm actually getting back into my photography because even I actually remember on an episode of America's Next Time I Retire, I actually said to the girls, you need to learn how to do your own makeup in case the makeup artist does not show. You need to know how to do your own makeup. You need to know how to take your own photos. You need to, so that way you can tell the photographer what angle best suits you. You need to know your body, know your face, know your image. I remember at one point, when I was younger, before I even started modeling, I used to walk around with a mirror just so I could practice like what's my good side, what side don't look right, and it's like how does this look and stuff like that. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to not only learn but self teach,
Yes. Yes.
and I feel like that's one of the biggest things, especially as a person of color, is to self teach because they're not going to teach us the stuff that we really supposed to know.
Hmm. Hmm. And the thing is, Michael Jackson was practicing all the way up to the day he died. What was he
Exactly.
practicing for? He was the best you could be. He was the king. What are you still practicing for? What do you think you're gonna get better? Of course, of
Yes,
course.
because that's the
Always.
thing. It's supposed to get better. If you didn't realize that that man got way better, his moonwalks were always, even when he first started the moonwalk in Billie Jean to how he did it when he was older. You could see the difference from the transition from all right, it was a little slower, now it's sped up. Now he moved a
Right,
lot faster. And
right.
like little things like that, people don't notice that. People don't take the time to take their blinders off because we're not horses running a track race. You gotta take those blinders off to see the whole full scope. You can't walk around just not using your purview view.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get you anywhere. You're gonna fail every time because you walk around with them blinders on. You're not trying to hear nothing from nobody. You don't want to see nothing from nobody, and that's where you closing people out because you can't look around. That's why their horses have it so they can look straight. You want to be able to have that clear scope because you don't want to just keep looking straight, even though they say keep moving forward. But you keep looking straight and not looking around and what's beside you, you're gonna miss out on other opportunities. Sometimes you might have to backtrack to go back and pick up that opportunity that you thought you dropped. Like you gotta make sure you try not to burn bridges with people. Sometimes it's like I had an issue where a designer made not just me, but my whole entire modeling assistant feel uncomfortable because of what she said, and she was just a hairstylist.
Mm,
She just made us all feel uncomfortable to the point where we was all at one, like really getting ready, like not to walk for her. Then I had to realize, all right, I'll do it this time, but next time you gotta pay me,
right.
like type situation. Like if we had a barter agreement, next time that barter agreement don't count for you
Yeah.
because you
Right.
messed that chance up.
Yeah.
Like you gotta make sure you're able to talk to people, not talk at them.
I got
Not be,
time for one
yeah.
more question. We always run out of time. That's the
Oh,
thing.
I'm so sorry.
But my one question is, you've got a bunch of hats up on the wall, and just out of my own curiosity, which one of those hats is your favorite one, and will you put it on for us?
Um, I want to say it's my Levi's hat because it fits my head the best. But I haven't worn my hats because of my locks.
Yeah.
My locks don't allow me to wear my hats no more, so they're all sitting up on the wall. Because
The Levi's is a baseball cap?
yep, they're all my all of them are snapbacks. I don't
Okay.
have.
Is that the black one? I don't see Levi's logo.
It's all the way at the top.
Oh, okay, okay. And that's your favorite one? You got a story that goes with that one?
Um, this is the most hat that always people try to steal. People always try to steal this hat from me, including my mother. But it was actually given to me from my aunt when I first moved out here.
That
This
is
is one of my first hats when I first moved out to Vegas. And it was one of the first hats that actually fit my head when I first got my locks done. So, and it was just, and it's comfortable. I never had any issues with it, but this is the hat that I have to keep up there.
yeah, you got to
I
keep your
know
eye
what
on that one.
my mom been wearing that guy catch her be like, look, yo, put my hat back. Like, so yeah, it's,
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, in life, man, I think we learned a lesson today. Keep your eye on the hat that everybody's trying to take. That's the hat that everybody wants. It's Nashimah Curry on the show today. I hope you'll come back and do the show again. Now, if we want to stalk you on the internet, how do we find you? How do we follow you from here?
you can add me on Facebook. Actually, my name on Facebook is Nashimah Curry, and my Instagram link is on there as well. But my Instagram is officially Nas with two underscores. And tomorrow, if you guys aren't doing anything for Cinco de Mayo, we'll be downtown at a food truck hosting there. So hopefully you guys can come through.
And I hope
And
you'll send me the information, right?
yes, I will definitely send you over the information. They got really great tacos.
Nice. And one last question I got, which is where is your name from? Nashima.
Someone told me that it was Arabic, and then a client of mine's, because I work in retail, a client of mine's actually told me that they're wrong. It's actually Persian.
Mm.
It actually means a gentle breeze, a breath of fresh air.
And that is what you are. I think it's Persian. It sounds more Persian. And
Yeah,
that's
I
what's
think it's
up, man.
Persian too.
It's
Well, you have a
Nashima
wonderful day.
Curry, a gentle breeze of fresh air. I like that. I like it. It's the Ace Michael show, man. Big show today. Very happy with the results. If you ever want to be on the show, do that. And you know what I say at the end of every show? I still mean it. Mean it with my heart. Live the life you love. Love the life you live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent show. Excellent.